Okay, so obviously the legal battle between Microsoft and United States Federal Trade Commission is still going on. And at one point, I guess one of the things that got mentioned during this whole thing was the fact that they plan on Sony releasing a PlayStation 5 Slim along with a handheld version of the PS5 before the end of 2023. Now, and the handheld version of the PS5 is something that we've all seen at one point because it looks somewhat similar to the way that the Nintendo Switch was designed with the Joy Cons and what have you. But a lot of people were not expecting a PlayStation 5 Slim, at least not this year. But at the same time, this is a trend that Sony just likes to repeat when it comes to their game systems. Like you look all the way back to like the PlayStation 3 era, we got different versions of the PlayStation 3, just like we got different versions of the PlayStation 4, the teens decade. And at this point, the PlayStation 5 has been out for almost 3 years now because I believe the game system came out back in late 2020. And I mean, the PlayStation 5 is not necessarily old, but it's still not like really new either. And I do feel like at this point, the PlayStation 5 is almost at the halfway mark in terms of getting old for the most part because it's still considered to be new gen. And I do feel that, as the price of the PlayStation 5, starts to drop over time, I mean, it would only make sense for Sony to come out with a new model of the game system and probably like make it as expensive as they possibly can. And as far as the price for the PlayStation Slim, I have no idea what that's going to be. Some people are speculating it to be like $399, and then some people just look at it and wonder whether or not it's worth it, considering the fact that everything is becoming more digital. People who own the PlayStation 5, they would probably just, they'll probably just, download games online because it's more convenient for them. And at this point, I feel like eventually, as we get closer to 2030, um, hardware, discs or, hardware CDs are going to eventually become more um, obsolete. And we're definitely going to see like cloud gaming take over the scene in relation to gaming. And obviously, like there are people who will still buy the PlayStation 5 just because, it's new and most likely it's going to run better and probably have more gigabyte storage than the PlayStation 5 because I don't understand why Sony would put out another version of the PS5 and it has less, gigabytes or the same amount and then make it really expensive. That doesn't really make too much sense. But at the same time, some people wonder how cloud gaming could eventually affect Sony's, PlayStation Slim and the type of sales that's going to have in the future. But at the same time, I don't think we're at the point now where cloud gaming is like the main thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, cloud gaming is definitely the future. And I believe at some point it was discussed in Nintendo that their next game system is going to be more focused on, I guess, cloud gaming or something geared towards that because people would have to use their online accounts in order to enjoy the gameplay experience for their next game system. But Nintendo never specifically said that they're turning to cloud gaming. But it doesn't seem like Sony plans on doing that right now, and if they're making another version of the PlayStation 5 Slim. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people are waiting for that to be unveiled, and them releasing the PlayStation 5 Slim, if that rumor is true, if they do it around the holiday season, it's probably going to sell out like crazy to a point where we're going to have to restock consoles just like they did when the original PlayStation 5 came out back in like late 2020 during the holiday season. And And honestly, like, just seeing that that news came from Microsoft opposed to Sony is a bit shocking, and, obviously, Microsoft made the move that they made to acquire Activision Blizzard because of competition. Sony's first party games have basically been, bestsellers, like whether it be, something within the God of War or the Spider Man series or what have you. Their first party games have attracted a ton of mainstream media. And obviously, Sony acquiring Bungie is only going to, help them um, draw more people to their product in relation to the PlayStation 5 console. And as far as the PlayStation 5 Slim is concerned, I think that along with the handheld version of the PS5, they're going to be huge attractions. And even though like either one of those things aren't exactly original, um, those are actually good ways for Sony to bring in more revenue in relation to 2023.